Welcome to another enlightening episode of Empowered, the podcast where we dive deep into the realms of social empowerment and growth. I'm your host Alakot Blesson and I'm thrilled to have you on this empowering journey with us. In each episode of Empowered, we embark on a quest to explore the stories, insights and experiences that fuel the unstoppable force of social work. This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement, conversation that ignites inspiration and sparks change. Today on this episode, we have a reverend priest who I would proudly call as a priest who thinks different and indeed works different. Proudly, I would like to welcome Rev.Fr.Jackson Jacob, the founder of Poornatha Mission. Let me introduce to you Rev.Fr. Jackson. He completed his BA in English Literature and History from St. Andrew's College, Bandra. Later, he finished his post-graduation in journalism and even completed certain certificate courses. He worked for 92.5 Big FM as an OB radio jockey. He did anchoring for 2 news channels, even worked as a creative producer for a famous Keralite TV show named Malayali House on Surya TV, and even worked for ZQ post-production. Later, he pursued his theological education in BCS and is currently pursuing his MSW also. He is also serving as the vicar of St. Mary's Jacobite Syrian Orthodox Church, Kalyan. The Poornatha Mission. It is a registered charitable trust under the Bombay Public Trust Act. The mission aims to give education and vocational training to children and families who are homeless, who live in the underdeveloped slums, on the streets, etc. The mission currently has 4 centers at Govandi and Nallasoopara areas. So let's begin with the podcast by having a heartfelt conversation with Rev.Fr. Jackson Jacob about his mission work. I would like to start with the thing that made you interested to come to where you are right now, or in which field or which post you are right now. What was that calling or that feeling that got you here?
Basically, as a priest, I was very interested from my childhood because I had a calling from God at the age of 10. And that's what inspired me to help the poor. That is the first calling. When God called me, He said, Jackson, serve God, Jackson, serve the poor people. And that was the first time I had an encounter with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Basically, the power of the Holy Spirit filled out me. And that's how I started my journey ahead, and that's how today I'm fortunate and blessed to be a priest.
Okay, and can you let us know about your background in social work and priesthood?
Yeah, see, when it comes to priesthood, is more on the spiritual side, serving the church, serving the parish, and all those things. But at the same time, as a priest, it also goes hand in hand because that is what we are called to do. It is not just about being in church and reciting a prayer. That's one part. That's a good part, a blessed part. But at the same time, we have a commitment to the people because Jesus came down to the earth to serve others, and that's how God showed us how to serve others. Because after all, irrespective of the fact whether we are Hindu or Christian or Muslim or Buddhist or Jain, we are all the children of God, and it is very necessary that we see that each one is an image of God, and that's how we should be. We are all brothers and sisters in Him.
What was that one feeling that gave you a thought that I should come for the social service of the poor, especially?
Yeah, as I said earlier also that, at the age of 10 when I got this call, God specifically told me to serve the poor. So once after that feeling, I wanted to see where I could fit into the poor people. How do I start? I have no knowledge and nobody to, tell me, let's do this, let's do that. And I was praying all these years, show me a way where, we could do something. And that's how one fine day, that's in the year 2017, in the month of February, there was an article in the Times of India about the plight of people in Govandi. That's at a dumping ground area, one of the largest dumping ground in India, where people are not getting any food. They are, having food from the dumps. and all those things. And when I thought I'll call to the reporter, and when I spoke to the reporter, he said, you can go there, you may find many NGOs, you can contact them. I said, no, I want to be there personally and to see how the situation is there. And once I went there, I found out the hard truth of the people living there, plenty of issues, because as per the reports, it says the average span of a person who stays is just 39 years old. That's very shocking. And when I found out that most of the children do not go to school, and when I inquired why do you don't go to school, and the answer was majority of these people did not have a ration card, PAN card, neither a birth certificate, even to prove that they are Indians. And that really rattled me up, shook me up, how can that be possible? Because they were not bothered. The people are not bothered even to procure their birth certificate for their children, and that's how because there's lack of education. And that's how I started my journey, and to try to find out whether these children could be put in schools. And it so happened that I went to the municipal school, and they were ready to help these children. And that is the two children were first put to two girl children were first put to the school, and that gave me an inspiration. Let's work for this, and let's educate the parents first. And put these children, and slowly by the end of that same year, 2017 December, I officially started a class where I took a room on rent and started teaching children basic things, because since most of the children do not go to school, I wanted to give them basic education. At the same time, try to push the children going to school, and that's how we started in Govandi. And similarly, at the same time, we had also started a center in Nallasoopara. Today in Nallasoopara, we have 3 centers. Similar situation, but not a dump yard, but people who are staying in the roadside payments and all those people, children who go for begging, children who sing in the trains. And that's how so far we have 4 centers, 1 center in Govandi and 3 centers in Nallasoopara. And the main focus, what we are doing is into education.
Okay. So what is the strength of these centers?
In Govandi, we have around 40 something children. In Nallasoopara also we have around 60, 65 plus. And it all depends. Sometimes there are more children. In fact, there are many who want to join our centers. Like for example, in Govandi, if you see, it's a huge area. And many of these parents wanted to put their children into our class. But unfortunately, since we are limited with our room and rent and all those things, so we decided let's do it slowly by slowly, not at all at one go. At the same time, Govandi, we have now divided our class into 2 parts. That is, the first part is in the morning, where from 12 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the afternoon to 1 o'clock, we have basic education for children who do not go to school, so we have a teacher for that. And in the evening we have a class for the children who go to school. Basically we give them free tuitions, so we have employed a teacher to teach children, because most of the children cannot afford tuition fees at the other centers. So we decided let's employ a tuition teacher itself, and so we pay the teacher, and that's how it happens in Govandi. And Nallasoopara, we have also employed a teacher. Now we have a couple of volunteers also to work with them, and that's how things are moving ahead.
Okay, that is really interesting part. And as per we see it in the current situation of the country or in the world in general, priesthood has turned into a phase where priests are totally into the liturgical services or into the spiritual services, and that the pastoral work or working for the people around is being decreasing. And in this time, it is a great blessing that you have come up with such an initiative, and it is something that must be spoken of, and people should be knowing about it. What were the hurdles that you had to go through during this whole process till now?
See, one of the major hurdles is that since most of these parents were not keen on sending their children to school, because basically some of the children go for begging, rag picking and so on. So some go for singing in trains and all those things. So when we said that we want to send your children to school, they were a little bit reluctant. Although they said, okay, no problem, we give them admissions and everything, but they were not regular to school. When they used to come to school also, if the school starts in the morning at 7, they would come by 9:30, 10. So again, it becomes a problem for everyone, especially for us, because we have enrolled the children to school. the parents are definitely not keen, and especially in that community itself, there are children who are single parents, parents who are alcoholic, there are even orphans. So right now what we are trying to do is working with the child welfare committee. We are trying to give them all the proof that whatever we can, because when we approached the child welfare committee, they asked to send all the proofs, and according to that only they will take the actions. At the same time, we are also seeing a possibility if at least a single parent children could be put in some boarding schools. But again, it's going to be very difficult for us, because the community does not want to send the children to school or to the boarding, because they will lose a source of income. So these are the common challenges that we have. And as a priest, there's always a misconception that when a priest comes there, he's coming to convert people. No, we are not. Absolutely, we not go into that aspect at all. Our main focus is education. We want to put the children into school. Whichever school they want to go, we are ready to help them. So all this fees is paid by us and everything. So these are certain hurdles, so that the biggest hurdle is that the parents should be willing or convincing, and that is very difficult, because even since the parents are also illiterate, did not know the beautiful side of the world, through what is the education and what benefits that you get through education. So that is the major hurdle for us.
So you have made sure to always keep religion away from your social work.
Yes, absolutely. Because it's not the right thing to involve religious and education. So it's a very, very bad concept that if you bring religion into the social area. And after all, what I am doing is in fact God's work itself, because God Himself says to help people, and that itself is the greatest thing that we are doing. So you don't have to profess that believe or follow so and so religion, so and so, because after all it is God's work at hand. What we do is in fact what I believe is the work of Jesus, and that's how basically, since everyone are my brothers and sisters, so you should look into that concept that this is my brother or this is my sister.
Yeah, indeed, that is true. Also, how is the work going on in the financial area? So how is it? Is it totally funding, or it is totally on donations? And how do the funds come?
See, funding is through the well-wishers, my friends and everything, because the fortunate part is that till today I haven't asked anyone to give me any amount of money. When I started this mission, I had saved around 6,000 rupees, and I asked God, I want to do something good. And when his mission started, I had just around 6,000 rupees, and then I started, how will I go ahead? But when I started doing this work, people saw what I was doing, and people used to come there and see what I did, and that's how people started supporting me. It's not that it is the same continuous people who are helping me. When people come there, they see the real life situation, and I tell them, see, it's not necessary that you have to give me money. You can do, and you can come yourself. You can help whatever way. If you want to teach, you can teach. If you want to bring any gifts on you bring gifts. If you want to bring any snacks, you bring your snacks. So when people see, automatically things work. I always believe in a concept that if you are true to what you are doing, automatically God Almighty, He provides whatever you need. There are so many times when there are a lot of situations happening that we need money, and we was wondering like, how do we do this? And then next day you see that somebody has transferred 2,000 or 3,000 or 5,000 rupees in our bank account. So every day for us is a miracle, because since till now we haven't asked any one person, be it in the church or be it even my phone friend circles, some of my best friends also, I have never asked them. So all these people, they tell me, Father, why don't you ask us for money? You need any help, just give, let me know. So, I do not believe in the concept, keep on asking. This is not the right thing. I said, best thing is you do your work. Definitely He sees what you need, and then He provides. And so far, by the grace of God, I haven't faced any kind of financial issues. I'm not talking about, we are not doing a lot of things, but I'm saying the small things that we do so far has sustained me, sustained our entire mission, and that's how so far everything has been going well.
So it is said that being alone is little hard when you're into some work or into some field, and So in that case, who were those people, or who were, as in general, even if it can be the church group or the society group or your friend circle group, which were those people, who were those people who have been always holding you back?
See, in our mission, we are three of us. That's myself, and then we have two trustees. There is one an auntie called Julie Jain, and also one friend of mine, Rohit Raju. They are also church friends. They are from the Naika church, and they have been with me from the start. So they are the trust members. I work as a managing trustee. So we three have collectively started this mission called Poornatha Mission. Along with that, we have a lot of volunteers. One Susie auntie, then one teacher called Rajni, who's teaching at the Nallasoopara slums. Then we have at Govandi, we have Razia Sheikh, who teaches for non-schooling children. And now we have also Sana Khan, recently appointed for the tuition classes. And then we have a few children who, especially students who come and teach because as part of their college project, they need to do some internships. So there are children at times who come and teach and go. And at the same time, who my friends and the family members in and around, whenever they get time, they come and support and help us. That's how we have going so far.
Okay, so for the last question, I would ask, how was your family reaction, and how did they react, and how were they towards the work that you started from the beginning till now?
It's it's always very interesting because when you start doing this work, you're going to get definitely you're not going to start off with a positive note from especially when it comes to the family, because the family says, why do you want to get into all these kind of things? You know how the area is, it could be very dangerous and all those kind of thing. In fact, once I asked my mommy to come to the Govandi center, when she came, and she was very shocked, and when she came back and she said, how can you go there, because it's such a dangerous area? How can you even step there, because the entire area is smelly, because it's a dump yard, India's largest dumping ground. There are plenty of flies. In fact, the one of the funniest incident that happened is when myself and mommy was coming back from there. When we just came out of the center, she saw something, some kind of fruit kept on a fruit vendor. And that fruit was completely black in color. So she asked, what is fruit completely black in color? Because she was seeing from a distance. I said to mommy, it's not a black color fruit. It's a mango covered with flies. So she was saying, no, and never I'm going to come back here, because it's such, and I do not know how you are going there. So just take care of yourself. It's not, those kind of things are there from a family side. Because of course, every family would have that kind of concern of feeling. But ultimately, they accepted that what I'm doing is something good for the society. What we are doing is to change people's lives. That's how it should be. And fortunately, now my family, especially my mommy and my brother, has realized that what I'm doing is only for the good of the society.
Yeah, we being Mumbaikars, me and my friends, we would have also never thought of the part that is not seen by our naked eyes, that part which is always filled with struggle. And we would never ever imagine that there are places like Govandi where people are struggling to live every single day. And it is a very great thing that through you we are getting the knowledge and information about what is actually happening there. And if you would give an open invite to all the viewers to come and join in your work, in the God's work.
I would be very happy if any one of you can come anytime at our Govandi Center or Nallasoopara Center. We also have a Facebook, Instagram page. You can just type Poornatha Mission. You'll get all those information, the pictures and everything what we do. And anytime you need come there, you can come anytime, and I'll be there with you. And you can be part of our mission. It's not necessary that only a few people are allowed. Anybody who is interested to do something for the society in whatever capacity that they can have, or by spending the time or singing song or teaching something, anything in whatever capacity you can do, you're always free and you're always welcome to our centers.
Okay. Coming to the hurdles that you might have had to face during this time while working for your initiative, how was it during the COVID pandemic time?
When we started this mission, we only focus in for our own community, that is Govandi and Nallasoopara area, focusing only on education. But when it came to the pandemic level, we were all, worried how we'll handle the situation, especially in Govandi and Nallasoopara, because of the kind of crowd there, or the kind of situation there. And it so happened, and we started opening our doors to help people in whatever way, whether we kept on giving them rations, and we started giving them support for medical aid. Both the sides, Nallasoopara as well as and Govandi, and also there are a lot of people who even from the outside also started asking us if we could help them, because they came through a lot of contacts that we are helping them and all those things. And that's how we even started helping people outside now, and it was such a blessing that we could do whatever we can from our own capacity. At the same time, from the church-based side, we on the diocesan youth. I was in charge of the diocesan youth at the time as the vice president of the Mogari Jacobite Syrian Orthodox Youth Association, and we also started a project called Reach Out. So we formed a team of around 40 youngsters. We opened up a helpline. So we had a helpline numbers given in the posters. We sent it across, and we divide into different teams. Like we have the oxygen team, the medical team, the inquiry team, and many of these teams. And then a lot of people called up these numbers. We provided all information. We tried to give all the support whatever was needed, and that was really something, a big blessing, because it is not about just talking, it is about doing something. Even if we could save one person's life, that itself is a blessing. And during this pandemic, we could help, and we could save so many of the lives, because people was worried, and nobody had any knowledge about the COVID. It is something new for each and everyone, for us or for the people. And to do those little things, are so very important for the people. And that's in fact, if I'm not wrong, we have helped more than 300 or 400, around that figure, people, in whatever, be it medicines, be it oxygen, be it ration support. And it was indeed a blessing for us also at the same time to help people.
Which will be that one moment that you think, working for the people around, would be that one moment that you would never ever forget, or that one thing that touched your heart, which gave you an inner feeling that you are at the right path, keep going.
It is it's a big blessing for an organization, because the best thing that happened to us was when we could rescue an orphan girl. She was part of our Nallasoopara center. She didn't have parents, mother and father had passed away, but she was living in that community. But unfortunately, she was also, used, because she had to go to begging, get things and all those things. She has a brother yet so far also. But at the same time, we did wanted to help her. We did not know how can we help her, how can we rescue her. But through the CWC, Child Welfare Committee, through the legal process, we went to the police, we went to the CWC. Through all those processes, we could help and put her in an orphanage in Nanderi. And it is a great blessing, because it is probably if she would have stayed at that same slum, she would be nowhere. But today she goes to school, she knows how to read and write. Tomorrow, maybe after 10, 15, 20 years, when she grows up, she gets a good job. Definitely she will also expect that her family in future would also learn more. Even if you save, I believe in one concept, that if you change one person's life, you're not going to change that person's life alone, but you're going to change that person's entire generation. And who knows, that person tomorrow could be the president or prime minister of our country, or some, very, very famous personality. So we do not know that. So we do what we could do. And changing lives is, doing whatever we could is one of the main priority. Rest, we all believe that, it is in the hands of God, and that is something very unique.
Definitely, the hands of God is something that has led you through this situation and made you and your team work for the poor, indeed. What would be that one thought that you would like to put it into today's generation, or this world, this pluralistic world that has been growing and transforming with time? That one statement or that one one thing that comes from your heart for the world?
See, one thing, especially when it comes to the youngsters, our youngsters are highly creative. It is not like the youngsters 10 or 15 or 20 years back. Today we have everything in our hands, all sorts of information in hands. We can do so much, and our youngsters are very highly creative. Today, if you look at the world today, most of these companies, it is Indians who are leading in every sphere. So you can imagine what kind of capacity our country has, what kind of capacity our youngsters can do. But my request is for the youngsters is that do not only focus just for your own self, also look into your the society, the people who are around you, because unless until your country do not grow, nothing could happen. Even if you say that I've got the entire world, it is not just it is not over, but rather work for your country, because we need you, our country needs you, because when you help somebody to grow, automatically our country will too grow. So the whole focus is keep helping others, and see, definitely it will be a different experience when you start helping one person. Try helping just one person, and you'll see the difference, not just in their lives but also in your life.
So it says, the word of God says that loving your neighbor is the greatest form of love, the
Absolutely.
greatest form of love. So
Absolutely.
Loving in every sense is what your work is explaining us, and we wish and hope that all the blessings of the Almighty leads you further in your dreams and your work that is going forward. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
The word Poornatha means completion, and as Father Jackson strongly believes in that word, when God heals, He not only heals the physical part of the human being, but also heals the person spiritually and mentally. This is, after all, the completion of God's healing. Healing through saving these poor children and people to grow up, get educated, and to be true citizens to His country is what Poornatha Mission aims to. Educating one child saves a whole family or even a whole generation that the kid would grow up and make in future. And I believe Father Jackson has really been true to his calling by God, and not just live a life, but instead make others also live an educated, true life. It has been a privilege to have you on Empowered. Thank you for sharing your experiences, insights, and incredible journey of Poornatha Mission with us. May your work always have the hands of the Lord over it. May all your dreams for the upliftment of the society come true. Thank you.